look, if you're in the replay booth, even like when all else fails, just let common sense like
Oof.
dictate. And look, the reality is in some of these situations, the 98% of the people watching the game aren't going to know the
Right.
rule, or if you do, it's going to be this, this group of officials that we're all part of that go, oh, did you see what they did? And they didn't do this and they didn't do that. But I just think at the end of the day, when all else fails, common sense has to be the deciding factor.
Okay.
Now, Dean, I want you to put your, Fox analyst hat on for a second, away from just you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but how important is it for you as an analyst? How important is it to you doing your job as an analyst of seeing that simple preliminary signal on the call?
I mean, I just think it is so important. We're always trying to, our job as rules analysts sometimes will create situations where we might have to be critical of a call. That's just part of the job if you don't agree with the call. But I think there's a way you can do it without being disrespectful, without being, because young people are watching the game, and whether they're officials or they're just youth athletes that are going to be dealing with officials that are going to be interacting with them, and it's how they treat and how they act on the field is so important. So we always want to try to present it in a way that's respectful, but also educational. But at the end is things like just, hey, preliminary for me, like as a rules analyst, when I see a preliminary signal, I can then immediately get in, whether it's Tom Brady or Greg Olson or whoever, I can get in their ear and go, all right, it's defensive holding. Based on, if it's the side judge, I know what receiver he was looking at, so I can get to the producer and say 83 got held. They can queue up the replay, and it just makes the broadcast better. So there's so many layers to that. Just one little simple thing, a preliminary signal, and there's so many people that benefit, and that's why it's so important, those little things.